11 years ago, I got a tap on the shoulder to ask if I'd be a local councillor, and that was in Ribble Valley. I think within 3 years I was running that council. We did really well. We froze council tax. I think it was 3 or 4 times in the 7 budgets that I was responsible for. I think I was the second longest leader ever. And then I got so frustrated with what was happening with the Conservative Party nationally, I defected on the 17th of March last year. I stood in my local electoral division where I live. I thought it'd be very close, and I ended up getting double the vote of the incumbent, who normally got 2/3 of the vote. This is a big organisation. It's one of the biggest councils in Europe. 2.1 billion gross spend, 13,500 staff. What we're trying to do is reconnect with residents. I grew up in Blackburn. I lived in Blackburn until I was 17. The councils grew from the people, and now the councils have become very remote from the people because they're driven by government grant, they're driven by ministerial direction, and we're trying to reconnect much more with our residents. We've got to massively reconnect. So we have a saying, it's paraphrased from Robert Peel, but the people of the council and the council of the people. Civic pride picks up everything from celebrating Lancashire, keeping the streets clean, coming together as communities, and how we communicate with our residents and make sure that they understand what we're trying to do. This year we've got 60 million of extra demand and 40 million of inflation, ever growing demand and ever less resources. So it's difficult. I think some of those things you can do if you have the right frame of mind. We haven't had economic growth per capita since 2008, since the financial crisis. We've got to get serious about prosperity, about generating income in the country. The whole net zero thing, I think, is a massive act of self-harm. We have the highest energy costs. We're destroying our industries, those highly skilled jobs, security that you need. So fundamental values that I think that seem to just disappear. All the investment since 2010 is going into the cities. And people see, when if they go to central Manchester, it's wonderful. But you come out to some of the towns in Lancashire or some of the towns on the periphery of Manchester, and they've had no investment. And I think people are frustrated. They just feel left behind, and they don't feel that people are listening to them. The new railway line that goes across the north of England, nearly £40 billion, don't even come into Lancashire. And I feel this is a frustration that people have. They feel that certain areas are getting investment and others are not. That's why people are so frustrated. People want prosperity, they want dignity, they want security. But many people that live in the shires live very close to the parents and their siblings, and place to them is a very, very important part of their identity. Yeah. And I don't think the policymakers over the last 20 years have understood that. I delivered a leaflet to a house, and this lady, very delicate lady, came out and started running towards me, and she had she was welling up, and she got towards me and she said, thank you. At least we feel that someone's listening to us now. I feel that politicians have become very remote from people, and people really want their democracy to work for them. And I feel reform is talking in a common sense way about some of the problems that are facing the country that other people are not prepared to talk about, although they are now, because I think reform has moved the Overton window. We're getting ready for government. The work is being done by Danny Kruger. In Lancashire, one of the first things we discovered was that 519 million had been invested in government and corporate bonds that had lost £350 million. But luckily, through the savings we made, the 28 million and the further 65 million for this year, we've been able to avoid that. So even in the most difficult circumstances, with determination, a sharp focus, you can make significant changes in a very short space of time. I was with Nigel Farage last week, and it's incredible the reception he gets. He is a formidable politician who connects with people more than anybody else. He is building out the experience through the shadow cabinet that is very experienced people. The people we have working on policy are some of the best people around. But what Reform does have, a unique energy. I think that's why it's so successful. I think the challenges the country faces are so significant. The country won't accept business as usual. It wants reform.